Go ahead.
Hi, this is Lynn Beckendorf with Tax Marketing for You, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about the PTIN program for this year. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of discussion, a lot of rumors, and I just wanted to help you to figure out some things that are going on. I just recently was at the IRS Forum in New York in August and talked to some people there and got some information, have done some research on the internet, and wanted to give it to you in terms that apply to your business, not just what the IRS is requiring. So first and foremost, starting this September, we're going to have to register for a new PTIN. If you presently have one, like I've had the same one now for 18 years, you still have to register to renew that. You're going to have to renew it every year. Initially, this first year, it's going to be a $50 charge to the IRS, and then $14.25 to the Service Bureau, the third-party agency that's taking care of the enrollment. That $14.25 is going to be due every year, and everybody who prepares a return or signs a return is going to have a PTIN. So in the past, if your employees did not have PTINs, now they're going to be required to have them. One of the questions I asked the IRS is, they were saying in their seminar rooms that 4.3 million people need to register for this PTIN in the next coming months. I don't know about you, but I've done some paper returns this year due to the 5405, the new homeowners credit, and it's taken 4 to 6 months to process those. They've lost 3 of them. I've had to resend them. I've even sent some registered, and they've lost them once I have proof that they received them. So think about how the IRS is going to handle 4.3 million people signing up in a 60, 90-day period. It's going to be a nightmare. The other question I asked them is, what are they going to do with the $50 per person? I figured this out, $215 million. And they said, oh, that will go to administrative costs. So they're hiring a third party to administer it, to do the paperwork. They're getting paid $14.25. IRS is getting to keep $50 of our money, and that's going to go to administration costs. So, again, I'm a little suspicious of what they're actually doing with that money, but in order for us to run our businesses, we have to pay it, we have to get the PTIN. Now, how does this apply to you? There's a cost involved. Obviously, if you're a one-man shop, you're going to go ahead and register and pay the $64.25, and it's not a big deal. But if you have employees and you have seasonal employees, do you want to pay that for each of your employees? The company I used to run, we had 400 employees. Think of 400 times $64.25. My small office now in a rural town that does 1,000 returns, we have 5 or 6 employees. There's 2 or 3 of us that are here every year, but the rest of them are seasonal people who come for maybe 1 month that I may see again next year, I may not. So do I want to go ahead and pay that money for them? So there's a cost issue there. The other issue is that PTIN belongs to them. So if I pay for it up front, I train them, I send them to school or give them classes on how to do a tax return, and then on January 15th they're offered a job at someplace else nearby that is paying them 50 cents more an hour, and they go there. That PTIN goes with them. Even though I've paid for it, it belongs to them, so they'll take it with them to their new employer. Their new employer doesn't have to go ahead and pay for it, and I'm out the money for their education and their PTIN. So it's going to add another step to staffing our offices, another difficulty, another thing that we have to look for. The other thing that, along with this PTIN, is the requirement that they are now responsible for their returns. So even though you're overall responsible, if they say now that they didn't know when they filled out something, you're responsible for that return. You can't just blame it that this is a seasonal preparer or somebody who doesn't actually do tax returns because they have a PTIN. They have to know what the laws and regulations are. So it gives another level for you to check returns and to do a good review of every return that is done in your office to make sure that that helps you. The other issue is there's going to be a suitability testing. So if any of your employees have felonies or have personal returns that they haven't filed for a year or 2, they're not going to give them a PTIN. So this is going to affect the type of people that you employ. I think it's for the better, so that they're doing this step for us so that we don't have to do it. But we also want to make sure of what of who we can hire and who we can't hire. And lastly, during tax season. It's January 20th and you need more help than you thought you needed. You don't have the flexibility now to hire somebody off the street at that point that does have previous tax experience if they don't have a PTIN, because they're not going to be able to do a return. So those are just some of the issues. I've thought of a whole lot more issues. I've thought of some ways to help you with these situations, and we're going to talk about them at our boot camp that we have coming up. There's a key below here at the video to click on to get some more information about the upcoming boot camp, and we're going to cover this subject as well as a lot of other subjects. Take a look down there and see if these are any things that can help you with your business. Thank you.